Welcome, Sagittarius, Capricorn, to your May Astro Dice reading. Hope you friends are doing great out there. Let's get through this and see what is going on with you, my friends. Best message. Ooh, get into those dice. Let's go. Okay, let's see what's going on with you. And for those of you who are new, this is where I take astrology with tarot and make a small horoscope for the month using only one of the 12 houses. So let's see what's going on with you. Best message is coming out. Okay, we have this beautiful Taurus energy coming out with some Pluto energy into the third house. So, ooh. The Pluto over here is your ability to transform, take a big leap forward, and rebirth. Talking about doing it slow, though, and comfortable. I like that, though. Slow and comfortable with that Taurus energy. The energy around you shows the abundance of nature. It's rich, earthly, productive, yet relaxed and slow. I'm not going to do this route. You know, I'm going to transform this. I'm going to see what's going on. I might even be making a huge leap forward, but I'm going to do it at my own pace. I'm going to do it where I'm comfortable, because no matter what, I'm still being productive, right? No reason to rush. It's not going to, it's not going to get there any faster. And it's, the third house, your potential to learn something about your local neighborhood. So what are you learning about? Something that's coming towards you is going to transform, is going to make you want to take this big leap forward. Ooh, how is this all coming together? Let's see what's going on with you. Getting straight into the situation. Going straight into the beginning of the month, the middle of the month, and the end of the month. Clarify on that Pluto, the Taurus, and the third house. What is going on at the very beginning of the month? Tell us why they're here. You have something over here that's talking about emotional immaturity and disappointment of some kind of new ideas. So there could be some frustration about some kind of new idea that's coming towards you. There could be someone around you who is overspending, self-centered. What the? Okay, you have this you have this emotional, immature person around you who just seems to be very possessive, stingy, and maybe overspending a lot of money. It could keep you in a self-protection mode. It does feel like this is where you wanted to make this big leap forward. It feels like there's some kind of new idea. Something is definitely frustrating you that makes you want to transform, makes you want to take this big leap forward. Maybe you're waiting for this person to change and they have not changed, and it's just they're too slow of changing, right? Take it how it resonates. It looks like you're just sitting in your comfort zone. What did I say, though? You're in Taurus mode. You're going to sit over here in your comfort zone as much as possible. You're trying to keep your emotions as stable as possible. So it does look like you are looking deep within your cup over here at this third house, trying to look for the answers, looking for new ideas. You may feel like you have some kind of creative block that's going on as well. This person could be using all of these disappointments kind of against you and making this creative block, meaning I have to look within this cup. I have to look deep within everything to figure out where I'm going to go within this situation, because this situation with this person that you're dealing with is not a good situation. Could literally be dealing with a Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, Pisces, or a Scorpio, or a Cancer. So it just feels like in the very beginning of the month, there's a lot of frustration. Somebody around you is acting very childish about a situation, which is causing huge delays. It doesn't matter, if it's a love situation, a work situation, it doesn't matter what the relationship is. It's definitely causing, though, a lot of creative blocks. So it's almost like you're just going to sit over here very patiently, try to be as calm and comforting as you can, as you're waiting for this to kind of blow over. That's what it is. Waiting for this to blow over. So let's go ahead and clarify on that situation. Yeah, there's a lot of friction and a lot of discord at the very beginning of the month. Feeling like there's a lack of stability when it comes to this situation that you're having from this person. There's a lot of arguments and a lot of discord. And it does feel like they're acting very childish. Could even be acting like there's an elephant in the room. You do have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, which says there's an elephant in the room. They could even be trying to sweep things underneath the rug instead of coming towards you, and acting very immature by just ignoring the situation instead of fixing the situation. So you may be waiting for them to come and actually have a grown-up adult conversation, right? A very mature conversation about what's going on, so that you can get past this. It's almost like, yeah, you're waiting for them to develop the maturity. Okay, well, when you feel like you want to be an adult, come see me. Okay, when you actually want to talk about this in a mature fashion instead of yelling, screaming, jumping up and down, and acting like a child, you know, I'm over here. So right now it's just about kind of like releasing any kind of limiting beliefs. What are you learning over here? You're learning that there is definitely this kind of attachment. You're learning that they're definitely taking this in the wrong direction. So the transformation of this situation between you and this person, you're actually realizing is growing the wrong way. They're acting very reckless about the situation, and there's a lot of inconsistencies. I think at one time, though, you thought this was something that was just going to, you know what, we'll just talk about the situation. We'll get through this. It's no big deal. Okay, so let's see what's going on in the mid-month. Mid-month, we have racing in, ambitious, fast thinking. So no matter what the situation is, you're going to be a lot of fast thinking, and now you're going to really want to seek this truth and bring in your truth and really go after that truth. You see this opportunity. I really do think that this is really about showing the truth of the situation and what you're learning from this situation. You're realizing that this person is, you know, been, you know, kind of been immature and creating a lot of blocks and a lot of frustration within the family setting or the work setting, however, whatever the setting is. So I do feel like you will come fast thinking in the mid-month towards them about what it is you've been learning about them and the way that they've been acting, right? And really, I think that there will be some choices that they're going to need to, you know, think about. It's like, I'm going to give you these choices, and you go ahead and tell me what you think about these choices. Yeah. It does look like you are, you know, being very, you know, you're giving them inspired action. I mean, it's not like you're just coming in as some like big jerk, you know what I mean? It's like you're trying to be as, you know, as charming as, you know, possible. But it does feel like they're also being very impulsive about the situation. So it's almost like, well, you're coming in trying to tell them something and make them understand. They're being very impulsive towards you, right? So, you know, but it is giving them the sudden awareness that you know what's going on, even though they don't really want to talk about it. It does look like they're not wanting to talk about it, but it does look like it's also making them kind of think twice about what's really going on. So all this immature, you know, energy and all the immature words and all the greediness and all those things, it's almost like you're waking them up to make them understand, you know, you're kind of acting like a pompous jerk over here, you know what I mean? And it's actually kind of crazy because you're giving them the awareness of how they're acting, and they're actually thinking about that situation. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, they're actually thinking about that. They do think that you're kind of seeing it only one-sided, which I think is kind of interesting. But they definitely are noticing, you know, they are definitely noticing, oh, okay, well, I'm sorry that I was acting that way. You know what I mean? So it does feel like they're kind of noticing that you're seeing them this way. That's interesting. At the end of the month, you have the Sun, the Strength card, 2 Leo cards coming out, and the 3 of Cups. So it does look like in the end, you know, what you're seeing over here is definitely having some kind of celebration and some success and breakthrough within the situation. I do see that you're also learning that there's a lot of getting over a lot of low energy and a lot of struggle. Of seeing that that this person is getting past their pride, because this person was also acting a little prideful about the situation. I don't know what I don't know what happened to them. I don't know if they won the lottery. I don't know what's going on, right? But maybe they got a huge tax return and, you know what I mean, they think they're gods of the world. Who knows, right? But there definitely is saying that there's going to be a lot of celebration and collaboration going on within a friendship, and really getting out there and finding the happiness, and doing a lot of community outdoors things. So you could be going out to dinner, doing things with your friends, also at the end of the month. But you're also learning within the third house that whoever that they may be talking to, the person that they may be dealing with, if there's another person involved with this situation, they're still going to have issues with the other person. Looks like you're kind of getting through the personal problems with them because you made boundaries, and you're having clear boundaries with them, and also clearing the mind for a different perception. And I do see that you guys are actually getting on better ground and better terms, but I don't see them, and I still see them over here having still some problems with this other person. I do. I see that they're still having problems with this other person. And this other person is actually, definitely weighing down on the friendship, on the family situation, whatever, the work situation. So whatever it is over here, it is like they're still having, struggles over here when it comes to them, which is still making you have to juggle back and forth, because it's still going to make you feel burned out and overstressed about that situation. But I mean, at least the good thing is you're realizing that they're seeing it from your kind of point of view, but they're not seeing it on this point of view. I still think there's 3 of you involved. You know what I mean? I think there was 3 to begin with. It's like them, it was like Pisces, Libra, and you, right? Just saying, it doesn't have to be any of those people, but I do feel like there was 3. And I do feel like with the 3 of you going out celebrating and having this issue, I still think it's, the 3 of you, but they're still having problems with them. And they feel like they're still carrying weights. They're still acting high and mighty with them, and still having development issues, having connection issues, still not connecting properly. It could be too that the other person is kind of holding a grudge against them because they did, they weren't very nice about the situation. So I do think that they're still kind of holding a grudge, or this person is holding a grudge towards them. Maybe they were just holding a grudge against each other, but you're still, no matter what, you're still in the middle. You're still in the middle of it. If there is 3 of you, you're still in the middle, just like you were in the very beginning, where you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? If there's not 3 of you, it's like you guys are getting back to where you're feeling a lot better with each other, because you have cleared those directions and cleared out boundaries, but you still feel burned out about the situation, right? Because no matter what, it's still like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? I hope this stays this way. I just feel like it's a lot of fear-based. You're carrying a lot of burden no matter what, about, I hope it stays this way. I hope there is potential for them to keep transforming, and don't go backwards, or don't act like that again. So I still feel like you're still a little stressed out with them. It's like, okay, fine. End of the month, but you have to understand, they've been kind of acting, like jerks to you, and then you finally get on the right page, but it doesn't mean that you're still not kind of weary and watching and paying attention, right? The third house is all about paying attention, learning new things, really focusing on what's going on within the situation, eagle-eyeing everything around you, so that you have that potential to learn, so you do know what's going on. So what are you learning over here? You're learning, okay, well, you know what? We're at kind of like the milestone of the situation. We're starting to see eye to eye about the situation, but I don't really 100% trust that situation. Yeah. But that's how I feel the other person feels too, if you have this other person in the situation. Because I think that when it comes to that, if you have this other person, there's like this failure to communicate, or failure to really want to 100% forgive. Yeah. 5 of Swords in reverse. Well, regret, revenge, Will they continue to do it again? I don't know. I don't know, because no matter what, you still feel like this person, no matter what in the situation, is still head over heart. They're still using their analytical minds. They're not really showing any compassion about the situation, except still towards their greed in some ways. Even though they're saying in the second part of the month, they're saying, oh, I get it. I see where you're coming from. Yeah. But just because they're aware and you made them aware of, you know, them acting that way doesn't mean they're going to 100% turn everything around just because you said so. Right? So yeah, there's a lot of self-doubt going in with the situation. So yeah. Right? You know, I think the whole situation on that really is, though, is that I'm not going to sit over here and say, right? I'm not going to sit over here and say, just because I brought this to your attention, that everything's going to change. I'm still going to watch you, because you might be good on Wednesday, but you might, you know, start this stuff up on Friday again, depending on how you're feeling, right? You might get on your Heidi, you know, your Heidi horse or something, right? Because it does. I mean, they're coming out as the King of Swords. They're saying, you know, I'm in a leadership mode. I'm reliable, you know? Okay. So, best messages coming out. I don't know. Overall message. Foundations and achievements. The same for the overall part of the month. I mean, the milestone is only going to be the milestone. There's not going to be the overall celebration of the situations you're looking for. The only celebration, I mean, you do have the Sun card, which is a blessing. I feel like the only blessing that you have is the celebration within yourself to understand that you have your own success and that you guys can actually be on the same page without, you know, having any arguments or any debates going within the situation. Why? Because all of the shit that was happening in the beginning of the month where they were arguing and causing all this immature fighting and all that stuff is done and over with. But it says, well, the way that they want to lay the foundations and achievements is not exactly the way that it was desired in the first place, right? Because no matter what, they're still kind of manipulating the situation. It is better than it was. And I do see that the Sun for you, my friends, and the way that things are going within your life is beautiful. But how are you going to really be over here is about as good as it's going to be. I mean, at least they're not causing any obstacles and, you know, and challenges anymore. That's why you have the Sun. Because you're saying, okay, well, at least now we can stay on the mutual page. Right? But I'm still going to watch you because you're acting still a little weird. But at least we're not fighting. Like I said, they might be fighting with the third person if you do have that other person there. But I don't even really see that it's fighting. You know what it is? It's a grudge. It's more like they're not really talking. There's the elephant in the room situation. That's all it is. But the conflicts and the defeats are done. So yeah, of course you're going to see the blessing. The blessing is, thank God you kind of see it my way. But boy, I'm going to watch you. But I need to get this back to feeling like we have the overall achievements. I want the overall happiness. It's going to take some more transformation. Yeah, well, that's because they had something that tempted them. They had something that came in that made them feel high and mighty. Some kind of money, some kind of proposal, some kind of job, something, I don't know what it is. Something that made them feel like they're high and mighty. I don't know what it is, guys. You guys are going to have to tell me. What was it that made your person feel high and mighty? You know, or was it just that they had some kind of, you know, midlife crisis? Went out and bought a car, you know? You know, is it a bipolar thing? They went out and bought a car. They both say the same thing. You know, is it just something like that? I mean, what is going on? What made them feel like they, you know, wanted to change so dramatically? Or is it something that you've seen coming little by little by little that actually was boom? Or did they come into a bunch of money and made them feel like they're, you know, or a better paying job? Sometimes we get a better paying job and then people think they're better than everybody else. Something happened here. Something's happened here. Because it's a general reading, it's going to be hard to say exactly, to pinpoint exactly what it is. Those are the things I'm pinpointing more than anything. So, okay. And until next time, my friends, peace and love. Bye-bye.